In today's episode, I realised that turning the meter on halfway through a fare is not a great idea. I visit the grave of a London cabbie who was awarded Britain's highest military honour. And of course, we play another round of Guess the Fare. Hey, good morning, you crazy cats. It's Saturday, the 30th of May. Summer is well and truly upon us. Welcome to a leafy Ealing. Fancy coming out with me into the cab and grabbing a few fares? Yep, let's do a day shift on Tariff 2. And there are two winners for last episode's Guess the Fare, Trafalgar Square to Wembley Stadium. They are Adrian Fry-P5U, and the next winner is at Ishti121. Well done, fellas, you got it spot on with £52.60. So back to the old shift episodes, which is what I know you like. Hope you enjoyed last fortnight's episode, which was the football stadium run. Sorry for Cheltenham and Leighton. Didn't get round to you guys. Said I was just doing Premier League and Championship, but I will get to those stadiums in the future. Anyway, let's get in that cab. Oh, come on then, what are you doing out there? Seem to have sustained an injury on my glasses there. Can you see that? Right, if I can't fix this with a bit of super glue, then I'm switching over to glasses set number 2. I don't know. What do you think about that super glue job? I think I'll stick with a reserve pair for today. Right, you crazy cats. Saturday, like I said, Tariff 2. What's been happening in London? Well, quite a bit. It's been half term, so the work I did last week was very much tourist related. Museums, attractions, big department stores, that type of thing. Saturday and Sunday, then the schools are back Monday. It's been okay, to be honest, much better than the first 3-4 months of this year. Hopefully the summer will be a good one. So the plan, well, you know, don't you? Let's head to West London and the Hilton Kensington. 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning, so made easy progress down the Uxbridge Road, and then jumped up onto the Holland Park roundabout and started to make my way into the hotel. And I had another guest waiting for me at the back of the taxi rank. Looks like the Met Police have started ranking up as well here. Well, let's hope they don't take any of my fares. So I just popped in at the front and let him do his business behind me. And as soon as I pulled on, well, I was off.
I want to go to Paddington Station.
Paddington Station, okay.
Yeah.
Right, first run of the day. Kensington Hilton to Paddington Station. Now, the Westway is closed at weekends, but I wasn't sure in what direction. So to play it safe, I just did a U-turn onto Holland Park Avenue. Basically, I didn't want to get up to the West Cross route and have to come all the way back down again and end up here on Holland Park Avenue. Heading forward now through Notting Hill Gate, and then we'll jump on to the Bayswater Road. For those of you who haven't visited this channel before, please subscribe. It's really appreciated. I love making this content for you guys and girls. Okay, let's head east on the Bayswater Road towards Lancaster Gate. Passing Queensway on the left there, had a meal at the Four Seasons a couple of weeks ago. I do recommend that. Wonderful pork and duck. Do a left now into Lancaster Terrace, left Gloucester Terrace, head up towards the first set of main lights, right onto Craven Road. Craven Road heading in a northeasterly direction past Paddington Station on the left, dropping off on the left here as I was requested to do so, finishing on Praed Street. Right, first job done. That was Kensington Hilton to Paddington Station. So I noticed at the Hilton Paddington, or the Hilton Metropole should I say, there were no cabs on the rank, so I might just go around the corner, around the loop here, and see if I can get something out of here. It's a good time in the morning, it's 10 to 9. People might be going to the airport or stations. Let's see what happens. So I circled around the Hilton Metropole, and sure enough, there were no cabs on the rank. So, well, it's a no-brainer, really. And we've got someone already coming up for a chat with luggage. Let's see what we've got. Hi there.
It's going to go to Paddington Station.
Right, don't laugh. This isn't so much a job, more of a joblet. Okay, left Praed Street, left onto the Harrow Road. Head west until I get to the Harrow Road roundabout. Leave by Bishop's Bridge Road. Left into the station approach. I'll jump down the ramp, do a U-turn, set on the left.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers, buddy. Take care. Cheers. Right. Okay, second job. Didn't go to the airport, went to Paddington Station. literally right next to that hotel. However, from here, I'm going to rank up at Paddington Station. I didn't have to go outside and rank up at the feeder because I knew there were no cabs there and it was half empty inside the internal rank. So just did a U-turn and headed back down the ramp. Very important here to keep your eye on the plate in front. Make sure you don't jump in front of him and nick his job. Before long, I'm on point. Hi, sir.
Hi there. Franklin's Row in Chelsea.
Yes, I know it well.
You know it.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Okay, exit the station here. Nice job down into the heart of Chelsea near the Royal Hospital, left onto Bishopsbridge Road. I've already decided that Westbourne Street is going to be my option to take me down towards the park, and I will be going through the park for this job, getting vomited out onto the Exhibition Road in South Kensington. So down Westbourne Terrace it is. At the bottom of Westbourne Terrace, do a shuffle around Sussex Gardens, left and right. Then take a left turn onto Westbourne Street, the Royal Lancaster on the right, and then left at Stanhope Terrace and a right turn onto Brook Street. Very annoying queuing to get through the gate here. Well, getting onto Victoria Gate and then the West Carriage Drive. Lots of traffic this morning. I'm not sure why, because Park Lane and Hyde Park Corner didn't have any restrictions. Anyhow, got to the red light eventually and then waited for the green to jump into the park, and away we go. Park's looking absolutely beautiful this time of year. Please come to London and enjoy our royal parks. We have 8 of them. I'm sure you'll know the ones in the centre of London. I wonder if you know the other royal parks that are situated outside of London. Let me know in the comments below. Lots of traffic here. Now, this was a bind for a Saturday morning. I'm expecting to breeze through the West Carriage Drive to get me onto Exhibition Road, and it wasn't happening. Anyway, all the while making my way south towards South Kensington. Hello, Exhibition Road. Past the Natural History on the right and the Science Museum, and we get down to the Cromwell Road. Right, Thurlow Place here, left Cromwell Place, forward, left Old Brompton Road, left Pelham Street. That's a quick left and left. Bit of a queue here on Pelham Street, heading forward now to cross over Brompton Road onto Sloane Avenue. Franklin's Terrace means I'm going to have to do a bit of shuffling around at the end of this job because of the closures around Sloane Square. Left Draycott Place, Blacklands Terrace, right Bray Place, left Lincoln Street, right Kings Road, left Walpole Street, left St Leonard's Terrace, right Franklin's Row. Thank you, sir. That does happen occasionally when they slam the door. The fare goes everywhere. There we go. Job number 3 done. That was Paddington Station to Franklin's Row, and I've just been informed by that wonderful customer that the Circle line is down, so there could be a bit of extra work coming my way today. The question is, where to next? Well, I might as well just pop around the corner to Sloane Square, seeing as the Circle line is down, and jump on the rank there. And that's exactly what I did. 15 minutes later, well, I was on point.
Hello, can you take us to Kensington High Street, Japan House?
Japan House, no problem. Keeping it simple for this job, Symonds Street and Eaton Gate are closed off to Sloane Square, so around the square, left into Sloane Street, and just head north. Very annoying to see that £43 million was spent on refurbishing this street, and now they've started digging it up again. Nice, that, isn't it? Okay, get to the top, Mandarin on the top right there. As you can see, the hotel, 6-star they say, left onto Knightsbridge, bear right and head west. Past the park on the right, that's Hyde Park, and then we're going to be passing Exhibition Road on the left, past the Albert Hall on the left, and heading nicely towards Kensington High Street. Traffic is being very kind to me during this job, completed in about 12 minutes. I'll get on to Kensington High Street here, set down on Derry Street. Thanks very much. Thank you. I'm thinking 3 more jobs. That'll get us to job number 7, and then we'll check in on you-know-who, Mr. Dave, see how he got on in Southend. From Kensington High Street, I U-turn, headed south on Gloucester Road, and a left turn on towards South Kensington Station. The rank was full, so up towards Exhibition Road I went, and I trapped a job.
So go to Marylebone High Street?
Marylebone High Street,
Thank
yeah.
you,
Okay, forward on the Exhibition Road, right Princess Gardens. Now, I hadn't turned the meter on for this job, and I'm not going to realise that until I get to Hyde Park Corner. Left and right, Ennismore Gardens, right onto Knightsbridge here. So I'm just driving along with the light on and nothing on the meter, and they're probably thinking, well, that's a bit strange. How are we going to settle this fare at the end if this stupid driver hasn't turned the meter on. Anyway, I will realise soon and I will start berating myself. Forward Knightsbridge, you're going to take the slip up here. As you can see, the Piccadilly underpass is closed. Suddenly, the realisation that, oh yeah, good idea, Mark. Why don't you turn the meter on? You might make some money. Anyway, get to Hyde Park Corner. Do a left turn onto Park Lane. Now head north. Not all the way to Marble Arch, but do a right turn onto Brook Gate. Head forward Upper Brook Street. That's going to take us past Grosvenor Square on the right and the old embassy, American Embassy on the right. To left Duke Street. There's Selfridges to the left. Head forward on Duke Street. The lady decided to be dropped off in Manchester Square. Right, bit of a nightmare on that one. Guess what idiot forgot to turn the meter on? Oh, so I forgot to turn the meter on. I was just coming up to Hyde Park Corner and I looked up and there was a blank screen in front of me. So what happens? Well, it's my fault, isn't it? I forgot to turn the meter on. I'm the one in charge of the meter. This normally happens when I get distracted during the pickup and I had to run out quickly and give that lady a hand in with her pram. So I think I just got in and shut off and didn't turn the meter on. Anyway, bit embarrassing. She was probably thinking, hang on, how are we going to settle this fare at the end? I turned it on and it came to £10.20, and that's probably half of what the fare should have been. From Marylebone, I headed south Oxford Street, then Park Lane, and noticed that there were no cabs on the Dorchester rank. So I thought, hey, why not? And jumped on to Point. Just a couple of minutes wait there. Let's see what excitement lies for me for job number 6, where we're going. No luggage, so it ain't going to be anywhere like a station or an airport. Right, I'm off to Selfridges, left Park Lane, left and right Deanery Street, left South Audley Street, go all the way to the top, hit Grosvenor Square, left Upper Grosvenor Street, right Park Street, I'm going all the way around Grosvenor Square here, right Upper Brook Street, forward Grosvenor Square, left Duke Street, and well, a little shopping job, a joblet, set down on left. Thank you. Little job there, Dorchester Hotel to Selfridges, or Selfridges, whatever you care to call it. One more job, then take a break. So the same routine as the last job, headed south down Park Lane, and well, guess what I ended up doing? Exactly the same as I did before. Ranked up at the Dorchester, where there were still no cabs. Yeah, a double Dorchester, back to back, here I am again. First one, Selfridges. Let's see what Dorchester number 2, job number 7 brings us. Right, we have been called in. Got a job here. Hi there. It's another shopping job, forward and right Deanery Street. I'm off to Marks and Sparks, left South Audley Street. Straight to the top again. This is a bit repetitive for you guys, I know. Left onto Upper Grosvenor Street, right Park Street. This time we're going to go all the way up to Oxford Street from Park Street. I'm just going to do a right onto Oxford Street. Taxi privilege for the right turn. And then once I've done that, I'm going to set the customer neatly down on the left outside Marks and Spencer's. Thank you. Right. 2 Dorchesters. 2 shopping trips. First one was Selfridges, second one was Marks and Spencer's. Right, let's just check in on Dave before I get my lunch. Dave! Dave, are you there?
Yeah, Mark, I'm here.
How was Southend?
I love it in Southend. I ate cockles and mussels all week long.
Yeah, we miss you, buddy. Did you see the football run episode?
Yeah, you forgot Charlton and Leighton.
Anyway, buddy, what have we got today for the viewers?
One of my favourites, Frederick Hitch.
Frederick Hitch. You are gonna love this one. What a guy this was. Run VT, Dave. Not all heroes wear capes. Some wear cabbie flat caps. One such hero hailed from Chiswick, West London, and his name was Frederick Hitch. And believe it or not, he was a London taxi driver just like me. This is where he lived, Cranbrook Road, Chiswick, and a blue plaque commemorates his achievements. Long before he drove the streets of London, Hitch fought in one of the most legendary battles of the British Empire. Born in 1856 in Southgate, he joined the 24th Regiment of Foot at just 20 years old, and before long found himself sailing towards the Cape of Good Hope. In January 1879, a posting in South Africa had him stationed at a remote medical outpost called
Rorke's Drift. It wasn't long before word came that a massive Zulu force was approaching. Hitch sprang into action. The onslaught lasted for days. Though wounded in the shoulder, he refused to stand down, running messages, carrying patients, and even ferrying ammunition, all the while unable to fire a gun. For his bravery, Hitch received the Victoria Cross, the highest military honour. But his return to civilian life was not a hero's welcome. He struggled with work, lived off a meagre pension, and endured public doubt when his medal was mysteriously stolen. Yet, resilience defined him. He rebuilt his life as a London cabbie. Horse-drawn at first, then motorised, eventually becoming a familiar face on the city streets. In 1913, while chatting to a neighbour, Hitch suddenly collapsed and passed away, likely from a heart attack. He was buried with full military honours at St Nicholas's Church in Chiswick. His memorial still stands, crowned with a soldier's helmet, a tribute to the courage shown at Rorke's Drift. Hundreds of taxi drivers attended his funeral, and now, over a century later, we still remember the man who went from battlefield to black cab, carrying a legacy far greater than any fare.
I thought I'd come down to visit Frederick Hitch's grave. It's not so much a gravestone, more like a memorial with that incredible helmet on top that symbolises his bravery and endeavour during that battle at Rorke's Drift. So from one taxi driver to another London cabbie, I'd just like to say, thanks Frederick. Thank you for all your service to king and country.
What did you think of that? An incredible story, eh? I used to think Fred Housego was London's most famous taxi driver, and he is a famous taxi driver. He won Mastermind. Well, Fred Housego, I'm sorry, I think Frederick Hitch is now my number one. An incredible story, incredible bravery. Get yourselves down to St Nicholas's Church and check out that amazing memorial, you cab drivers.
After my Marks and Spencer's meal deal lunch, I headed south again, Park Lane, and jumped on to Piccadilly, where job number 8 was conveniently waiting for me on the left.
Piccadilly for job number 8. Let's see what we've got here. Hi.
Palace Road in Victoria
Palace Street.
Street.
Yep,
Yes.
no problem.
Yep, heading off to Palace Street, so I'm going to have to turn this one around. Left Half Moon Street, left Curzon Street. Going to cut through Shepherd's Market here, left Trebek Street, right Shepherd Street. Left and right Hertford Street. And that's going to take us all the way up to Park Lane. Right, lots of traffic around Hyde Park Corner. The park's closed today for changing of the guards, so I will not be able to sit down in Palace Street. Comply Hyde Park Corner. Leave by Grosvenor Place. As you can see, heavy traffic. Heading around the back of the park, Buckingham Palace back garden on the left there, inching my way down Grosvenor Place towards Buckingham Palace Road, thinking I might get a left turn onto Buckingham Palace Road, but I won't, because the police have closed it off and they will not be letting me in. Suddenly, Grosvenor Place moves a little bit quicker and I'll do my left into Lower Grosvenor Place, up to the barrier, well, up to the cones, should I say. And once I get to the junction of Buckingham Palace Road, I will set the lady neatly down on the left for Palace Street.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, not a great traffic experience there. Well, all round the palace today, everywhere's closed. All the roads and streets inside the palace and those outside the palace, they must be rehearsing for Trooping of the Colour. That, I'm guessing. So, executive decision, the next job will be Guess the Fare, GTF. For those of you who haven't played before, the flagfall starts at £4.20 and then the fare rises in increments of 20p pieces, 4.40, 4.60, 4.80 and so forth.
From Buckingham Palace Road, I had made my way up to Knightsbridge, and job number 9, Guess the Fare, was waiting right next to the Bulgari Hotel.
Hi.
Hi, I'm going to 25 Craven Street off of Northumberland.
First of all, when I heard the word Craven, I was thinking Paddington, you know, Craven Road, Craven Terrace. But no, this is Craven Street off Northumberland Avenue. Okay, U-turn Knightsbridge and then go past the Mandarin Hotel, heading in an easterly direction. Still got the problems with the Piccadilly underpass being shut, so have to edge my way through the slip on the left side and then jump over to the right and get onto Hyde Park Corner. Eventually, I do. Plenty of traffic at the moment, bare left on to Piccadilly. I'm opting for Piccadilly for this run.
No choice, park is closed. They are practicing for Trooping of the Colour. Don't forget, this is Guess the Fair as well, folks. Okay, going to do a right turn onto St James's Street now, once I get that green light. Head south now. At the bottom, we'll be doing a left past Marlborough Gate. Forward Pall Mall. Pall Mall will then morph into Pall Mall East. Plenty of traffic heading into Trafalgar Square for obvious reasons. This is what happens every time when the park is closed. It makes things very difficult around all surrounding routes. Finally, getting past Waterloo Place on my left and still in traffic up towards Pall Mall East. Can't really do a right onto the bus lane into Cockspur Street because that's illegal, so we just have to take our time going around this very famous tourist attraction, Nelson's Column on the left, and the famous Lions. Comply King Charles I roundabout, leave by Northumberland Avenue. Then it's left into Northumberland Street, right Cornerhouse Street, right Craven Street, set down on left.
Thanks very much. Job number 9, like I said, that was Guess the Fair, from basically the Bulgari Hotel Knightsbridge to Craven Street, just off Northumberland Avenue. Now, that's a street I very rarely go down, and hope you had a good look at it. Lovely part of town around here. How much do you think Knightsbridge to Craven Street off Northumberland Avenue went? I'll let you know at the start of the next episode.
From Craven Street, I U-turned onto Northumberland Avenue, cut round the back onto Old Scotland Yard, past the Civil Service Club. Shout out to Mike there, thank you for your hospitality. And then I left onto Whitehall and I left onto Whitehall Place, ranked up outside the Corinthian Hotel. This ended up being quite a wait for me outside the prestigious Corinthian Hotel. The most exciting thing that happened in the 45-minute wait was the arrival of the Racing Green Peninsula Hotel's chauffeur-driven taxis. A little bit different from mine. Beautiful Napa leather finish on the inside. So he dropped off, span around, and finally, I got a job.
Give us 1 second. We're going to jump in.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
We got swamped by this wedding crowd, so we wanted to see which is the condemned man. We just it wasn't the one we
Shake
thought.
his hand for me.
Okay, off to Oxford Circus, did a U-turn on Whitehall Place, left Whitehall, U-turn and all the way north towards Trafalgar Square. Need that U-turn there to get me in the right direction for Oxford Circus. Nelson's Column in front now, comply King Charles I roundabout and leave by Cockspur Street forward and left Pall Mall. Right turn here onto Waterloo Place, forward Lower Regent Street, and we're heading up to another tourist iconic part of London, Piccadilly Circus. Forward and bear left now onto Regent Street, the majestic shopping street of London, which is taking us north all the time past Hamleys on the right towards Oxford Circus. So in and out of a non-existent bus lane here, because that was taken away years ago when COVID struck, so Regent Street is not the street it used to be. The passengers have already stated they'd like to be dropped off outside the Apple shop. I think there is a bit more space there, so that makes things a lot easier. So heading towards the Apple iPhone shop on the left, and I'll set down on the left.
Thanks, have a good trip home. Thank you, bye. Thank you. Oh. Job number 10. That was a long wait at the Corinthian Hotel.
From Oxford Circus, I did a left turn onto sketchy Oxford Street. It's what I call it now. Watched a few pedicabs go through red lights with passengers on board, and then headed down Park Lane towards Victoria, where I picked up job number 11.
Can we go South Bank?
Sorry, mate, don't go south of the river. Of course I do. I go everywhere. Leave on left Buckingham Palace Road, left Grosvenor Gardens, right onto Lower Grosvenor Place. The park is now open. Hoorah! Left Buckingham Palace Road, forward Buckingham Gate. Heading around the palace now on the two little spur lines. Left spur and right spur, and then left Birdcage Walk. Heading in a easterly direction, going to cross over Westminster Bridge. Westminster Bridge runs from west to east, east to west. It's practically horizontal in those two directions. Forward Great George Street, forward Parliament Square, hello Elizabeth Tower, and hello Big Ben inside forward Briggs Street. Forward Westminster Bridge. We get to use the bus lane here into York Road. Great little cut through. Bang, thank you. And then Chicheli Street will take us down in front of the London Eye. Hello Chicheli Street, right Belvedere Road. Set down on left.
Thanks very much. Cheers. Thank you. Right, job number 11.
From the South Bank, I U-turned and headed towards Westminster Bridge, going around the Crown Plaza Hotel and Addington Street when I spotted a few people to the right of me.
Getting waved over on the bridge.
So it's Mornington Hotel in Kensington?
Yeah,
Perfect, thank
no
you.
problem. Yeah.
Okay, after a U-turn, I'm heading west now on Westminster Bridge. Forward all the time in a westerly direction with the Elizabeth Tower on my left. Beautiful evening it's turning out to be. Forward Bridge Street now and heading into Parliament Square. Wait for the green lights at Parliament Square and do a left and right past the Abbey on the left here. Forward and bare left, Broad Sanctuary. And Broad Sanctuary then takes me into Victoria Street. Now forward in a northwesterly direction all the time heading towards Eaton Square. For a job of this length, I have plenty of options. Maybe go all the way up to Hyde Park Corner and just sit in Knightsbridge, but then you've got to go past Harrods, or cut through Eaton Square. I've already decided that Eaton Square is going to be my route for this particular job. Forward and bare left, Grosvenor Gardens left, Eaton Square, get to the lights, and then wait for a green, and then get over the lights, and I'm looking for a right turn onto Belgrave Place. Trouble is, there is problems around Chesham Place with a light. It's a temporary light and it's a four-way giveaway light. Therefore, everybody has to take their turn, and I am definitely taking my turn on the phasing of these lights, and the phasing is absolutely awful. Actually, I don't think I even got through on the next change. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, I did. Quelle surprise, Rodney. Anyway, forward onto Pond Street. Still plenty of traffic here trying to get through the light on Sloane Street. Forward and right onto Beecham Place once I get through the red here. That's going to take me all the way up to the Brompton Road, and force left onto the Brompton Road, and finally heading west towards Pennywern. Now, this has probably turned out to be the most frustrating job of the day as far as traffic is concerned between Victoria Street and the Brompton Road. It was not good and probably was priced a little bit over than what it should have gone. Anyway, we'll head west on the Cromwell Road, and as you can see, the traffic's building up again, so I've had enough of this. I'm going to do a left turn and a right turn onto Stanhope Gardens. Stanhope Gardens is going to take me forward onto Harrington Gardens. I'm cutting around the back here, basically right Collingham Road, left and right Courtfield Gardens, left into Earlscourt Gardens, left Earlscourt Road, right Pennywern, and I'm going to finally sit down on left for the Mornington Hotel.
That was job number 12. It got me west to Pennywern and the Mornington Hotel. One for the road, lucky 13 for me, and we'll call it a day.
From Pennywern, I stayed west and just trudged around Gloucester Road looking for a joblet, really. Didn't want anything too big. Well, it wasn't long before I was waved down on Kensington High Street for my final job of the day.
Job number 13. Lucky for me, because after this I'm finishing. Hi there. Hi.
Go to the Hamyard Hotel.
Last job of the day, lucky 13 for me, leave on left Kensington High Street. Forward Kensington High Street, past the Royal Gardens Hotel on the left, past Hyde Park on the left, and past the Green Hut, the Cabbie Green Hut on the left, heading onto the Kensington Road, Albert Hall on the right there, as you can see. Heading east all the time here on the Kensington Road. Traffic seems to be a little bit better on the north side of the Cromwell Road here. Forward Knightsbridge, jump in the left lane. We're going to hit the traffic again, obviously, because nothing's changed around Hyde Park Corner. The Piccadilly underpass is still shut in both directions. What cabbies do now is they jump in the bus lane there on the left, you see, and get to the front, and then they have to push their noses back in and really piss everybody off to get onto Hyde Park Corner. Excuse my language. And we'll just head down Piccadilly now in that easterly direction towards Piccadilly Circus. These people are obviously going to have a lovely night out at the Hamyard Hotel, which is rather swanky, I must say. And we'll keep on jumping in and out of the bus lane here until we get to the roadworks, get to Piccadilly Circus, say hello to Eros, go around Eros and the famous advertising boards, left Shaftesbury Avenue, left Wimwell Street, left Hamyard.
Okay, folks, I would describe today as busy at the start, slow in the middle, and busy at the end. Yes, we do get days like this. I'm stuck in traffic now, trying to get home on a Saturday night. Leave any comments down below. I'll give the answer for Guess the Fare at the start of the next episode. Hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, see you back here.